More than 30,000 teachers in Los Angeles have been out on strike all this week. The battle lines were drawn after almost 2 years of failed negotiations. The teachers' union wants smaller classes, excuse me, better pay and more staff. The head of the school district says the money simply isn't there, although he did make the union a $130 million offer, which it rejected. The strike is now in day 5. Attendance at the school has plunged. The school district says it's cost them $97 million. Both sides are sitting down to negotiate again. What's remarkable, I mean, this would be big enough on its own. Stevie Van Zandt, the E Street Band guitarist and star of The Sopranos, picketed alongside the teachers in Los Angeles. He even wrote an op-ed about it for Rolling Stone. He joins me now from New York. You've been asked before, let me ask again, why did you decide to picket and join along?
Well, hi, Richard. Start with the basics, which is our teaching profession is underappreciated, underfunded, and underpaid. I happen to be there. We've been working on teacher issues now for a couple of years with my foundation. Our teachrock.org music history curriculum was established to put the arts back into public schools. Our No Child Left Behind legislation of 10 years ago has devastated the arts. So I've been involved in teaching issues now for a couple of years. In this case, we have the local issues, which is, as you said, the classroom size. Optimally, it's usually 15, 20 kids. You can do up to 30. In Los Angeles, they have as many as 45 kids in a class, you know.
Wow.
You just can't, you know. They have 80% of the schools don't have a full-time nurse. Can you imagine that? And the counselors and the psychologists and the librarians are all, you know, they just need more people.
But, Stevie, one's always, though, impressed, I was going to say amazed, but impressed's a better word, when people outside the industry, and particularly those from the arts, and I suppose famous people like you in rock music and in television, you decide to not just come off the fence, but knock the fence down and go out and protest as well.
Well, I mean, you know, celebrity should be good for something more than getting a seat in a restaurant, you know. We should use it for, it can be useful sometimes. And in cases like this, we want to raise attention to these local issues, like I say, the classroom size, yeah, and you know, not a full-time nurse, and infrastructure. I mean, one kid marching with us said they spent the whole last year sitting on the floor because there wasn't enough desks, you know. And then there's also the bigger issue there, Richard, which is yeah, this creeping privatization of the education system, which has become a national issue now, and may eventually, you know, become an international issue. But you know, these charter schools, it's quite a controversy here. You know, they're in between public education and private schools. You have this charter thing going on, and they're taking money from the same pool of money. You know, but without the oversight, without the unions, without the certification of their teachers, and they are privately managed. Okay, which means profit, and you know, and once you see profit and education in the same sentence, you know, alarm bells should go off, right? You know.
Now we're a business program, so we like a bit of profit, but we want to focus on what you're saying. You say though in your article to the Running Stone, like everything else, it's a war of the rich versus the poor. For the first time in my life, we are going backwards in every single way. This is a clarion call that you're making more than just about education, isn't it? You're not happy with what you see.
No, I mean, I think we've been on a pretty good trajectory since World War II, heading towards global unity, you know, with a couple of bumps in the road, granted. But for the first time, we seem to be going backwards in every single way, you know? This nationalism, which is popping up everywhere, I'm sure you're quite aware of, and that all relates to the same thing. We need to, you know, we're only as strong as our weakest member, right? That sort of philosophy. And the same thing happens globally, you know? We need to sort of be more unified globally, just as we need to we need to support the teachers locally for the same reason, you know. It's a matter of the poor kids that are going to be left behind in the charter schools, the handicapped kids, the kids that are a little bit slower, you know, the ones that maybe have a little bit of a language problem, right? It's the, those are the kids that are going to be left out, and those are the ones we need to help the most, And that's why the union movement is so important for that reason, and public education needs to be funded, and those of us who have get a little bit of attention from the press. I'm calling all of us to come out from the movie business and TV business and music. Come march with the teachers, and let's make sure that the students are protected in the future.
So we have a minute or two left. On that class clarion call, I'm deliberately trying not to keep this in any way political either, whether it be in the UK with Brexit or in the US with Donald Trump. But this deterioration of standards of which you're talking, briefly, how is that reversed? Well,
I mean, oh my God, I wish we had more time for this, because that's a very important question. How's it being reversed? Well, we're starting to look inward instead of outward, and what happens then is the division, the politics of division has now taken over, rather than, the open-minded, welcome embrace of the world. I mean, it's a simple matter of we're stronger together than we are apart.
Right.
That's why, I hope Brexit goes away also,
So that is a subject for another day. Good to see you, Stevie. Thank you. Next time I'm in New York, I'm sorry I'm not there, but next time I'm there, we'll get together on the set at the same time.
That'd be
in
great.
New York or LA.
Look forward to it.
Thank you.